Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Hope you are doing well, that you are blessed. Thank you for joining me this fine day. Me at the bottom of the planet. It is the 7th. It is Friday the 7th. Almost time for the weekend. The rest of you, it is still yesterday. All right, let's get into it. Hi, Palena. Hi, Carol. Hey, Black Queen. Hi, Gwendolyn. Hey, Cozy Life. Lottie. Oh, happy birthday, by the way, to the OG. To the OG, Tina. It is her birthday. We are both Scorpio babies. Shout out to Tina. I'm still trying to get her on. I will do my best to make that happen. But I just want to say happy birthday to her. I hope she has a fantastic weekend. I'm sure she's probably ordered a whole bunch of crates of, as ever, wine and all the rest of it. And she will be raising a glass. Well deserved. All right, some rather interesting updates. What do we have here? Oh, a new member, Pauline. Hello. Welcome, Pauline. Welcome to the madhouse. If you would like to join membership, you can join through YouTube. Or you can join through Buy Me a Coffee. There is the link. Just a reminder, all of your memberships and donations are truly, truly valued, but YouTube does take a huge cut of creators' income. So if you would like, we do prefer you to become a member through Buy Me a Coffee, but appreciate either way and whatever is convenient for you. Right, let's get into it. Oh, whose birthday is next week? Oh, yours is next Tuesday. Okay, Elaine Parker. We'll remember that. All right. First things first. It is now confirmed. So we were a little bit unsure about whether or not it is true that, Meghan was filming something. And that has now been confirmed. We've now got pictures of her. This is her on set. Now, naturally, we were a little bit iffy about the news because it was, broken in the Sun newspaper. They somehow managed to get a leak, which is obviously very rare. There are no leaks in Montecito. But this is a large movie set, and it's not Meghan's team. So we didn't get any leaks from With Love Meghan because obviously that's Netflix, that's her team. This is, a team that's out of her control. So there was that one rat, that I'm sure the Sun newspaper paid very well. I'm sure there was a bidding between the Sun, the Daily Mail, and whoever managed to get this exclusive. So it is in a film alongside Lily Collins, Brie Larson, and Jack Quaid. And she is playing herself. The film is called Close Personal Friends. Listen, it is probably a 10-second cameo. But I'm going to watch the whole movie just to see that cameo. They've already ensured that they have a whole audience. I don't care if it's 10 seconds. I don't care if it's 5 seconds. Heck, I don't care if she just walks out of a restaurant and it's 1 second. I'm gonna watch that movie just to see. Do you know what? Meghan was very coy about whether or not she would ever return to acting. The last time she was asked about it in an interview, but why not? Why not? And why not? Small little cameos are cute, but a whole feature film, why not? If it's something that she wants to do, if it's something that she can do in between all of her other projects and obviously raising a family and being a wife, why not? Like, can you imagine if she was like a headliner in some big Hollywood blockbuster, like fantasy movie or sci-fi movie or, what else is popular? Superhero movie. Imagine we would break the box office before tickets went on sale. But of course, whatever Meghan wants to do. And it's quite interesting. She is playing herself, and she's wearing her signature stripy shirt and linen trousers. And her black shades and all her jewelry as well. Do you know what? I bet it's probably just gonna be Meghan walking out. Meghan walks out of a restaurant, right? This is what I'm imagining in my head, right? Are you ready? Meghan walks out of a restaurant, and then one of the characters in the movie is like, "Oh, are you Dr. Meghan?" And then like Meghan giggles or something, and then there's like paparazzi or something, and then that'll be it. And you know who's gonna watch it more closely than we will? The trolls. They're gonna watch this whole movie just to see that 5 seconds of Meghan walking on the screen. Hilarious. Can't wait for it. Very excited and good on Meghan. Oh, thank you so much, Pauline. Thank you so much for the super chat. You are much appreciated. Thank you to all of the members. Many of you have been members for months, if not years. Very much helps the podcast keep going. And FYI, I did actually create a lower tier of membership. I think the lowest tier is something like $1 or something like that. So have a look at the tiers if you want to support. Black Queen, I wonder who leaked it. True. I wonder who leaked it too. Could have been someone in the studio. Obviously, they want hype for the movie. They want people to start talking about it, and we already are. Plena, you sound so happy in your new environment. Stay safe. I am. I'm very happy. It's sunny here. All right, I kept it a little bit secret because I wanted y'all to go to my Instagram. But I am in Bali, Indonesia. That's where I am. And last time I spoke about my experience in Bali, I was, it was my birthday last year, and I was speaking on something horrible that happened to me. And I wasn't 100% sure if I was ever going to come back because, to be honest, I haven't really been, I haven't looked at his Instagram page, but the person who essayed me, I don't even know if he's actually still here. But that's actually neither here nor there because I'm not scared. I'm at peace, and I did my healing. And actually, speaking about what happened openly has made me so much more comfortable and confident to come back. And I do, by the way, just so you know, just so y'all don't worry about me, I do actually have real friends here and a community here. So thank you so much. I'm glad that you can hear that I am happier. I genuinely, truly am happier and healed and present and excited for whatever's going to come in the short, the time that I'm here. Yeah, I'm very happy for Meghan too. Living her best life. Dutch S. The deranged are going to try to cancel all the actors in the movie. Collectively, the dummies can't do anything. No, they can't do anything other than watch the person that they claim to hate, which is exactly what they're going to do. Meghan seems to be the last 5 minutes of the movie. Exactly. I hope they do that. Just to make us watch the whole thing. Just to make the haters watch the whole thing. Okay, on to the next thing. Yes, so Meghan's doing that. Harry's also doing his thing. He is in Toronto meeting with veterans. Thank you, Black Queen, for buying me a coffee. I've just seen that. Much appreciated. Yes, I will stay safe. Don't worry about me, folks. I've got people here that are very much my friends and taking care of me, and so I'm good. And I've got all of you. Okay, so yes, Harry here, he spent time with Sunnybrook veterans at the Sunnybrook Veterans Centre in Toronto and exchanged stories with residents. When asked what their most memorable war story was, one of the veterans, Brenda Reed, warned, "You can't always believe the boys. Hardy ha ha ha." Look at how happy everyone looks. Happy, relaxed. Harry's there painting. Just sweet, respectful interactions. We love to see it. You know, this is really Harry in his element, and he's talking to his brothers and sisters. It's an experience he can actually speak on with confidence, speak on with care, speak on with empathy. If you didn't listen to yesterday's podcast, I actually read the letter that Harry wrote about what it means to be British, but it was also an ode to serving veterans. And I read it in full if you want to listen to it tomorrow. And you could hear the empathy in his tone, in his statement. And you can see it when you see him with people. He has his mother's soul. So there's that. And there's some more pictures. I think these are actually from yesterday, but in case you didn't see the podcast yesterday, here's some more. He observes demonstrations from the base's dive team, deck team, weapons display operations team, and band members speaking with personnel in attendance about their dual roles as reservists and civilians. And so yes, that is Harry. And then I guess we will see him probably see him doing something for Remembrance Sunday. And then you've also got the actual Remembrance Day is on Tuesday, though, this year. All right. That is Harry. On to Andrew. Have to fight not to call him Prince Andrew. So it would appear that the House Democrats, he has been ordered by House Democrats to appear before Congress in Washington, D.C. for questioning over his links to PDF file Epstein. Now, a couple of podcasts ago, I actually said, if any justice comes to Andrew's particulars victim, or survivor rather, Virginia Giuffre, it'll be because he gets chosen as the fall guy to hide for everyone else. Because why are they just calling Andrew? Where is everybody else that needs to be held accountable? Why aren't they being called also? It really just reeks of political theatre, and he is very unlikely to have to go. And again, like I said, if he does, and if any charges are brought to Andrew, it's because they've chosen to make him the full person, when there are likely hundreds involved in the abuse and trafficking of young women and girls, possibly even boys as well, boys and men too. We don't actually know the full scope of all of this. So here is the statement. I'm not going to read the full thing because, again, I believe this is just political theatre. But I will read some of it, and I just find it interesting that they've done this now when they've had years to do this, and only for Andrew. So, dear Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, we write to seek your cooperation in the Committee on Oversight and Government Reforms Committee investigation into J. Epstein S trafficking operations. The committee is seeking to uncover the identities of Mr. Epstein's co-conspirators and enablers and to understand the full extent of his criminal operations. I mean, don't they have the list? Don't they have access to the list? Isn't this what we've been screaming about for the last year? Release the list. Well-documented allegations against you, along with your long-standing friendship with Mr. Epstein, indicate that you may possess knowledge of his activities relevant to our investigations. In the interest of justice for the victims of J. Epstein, we request that you cooperate with the committee investigation by sitting for a transcribed interview with the committee. And it goes on. I don't think he'll go. I'll be very surprised. And I also think that Andrew likely has a strong understanding that they are attempting to make him the full person for all of the other criminals involved in this. And I don't think he will go down by himself. He needs to sleep with an eye open and watch his food. Also, the commercial arm of Andrew's entrepreneur scheme has withdrawn almost all of its remaining funds as the former prince prepares to relocate to Sarandom. Now, also on the issue of these so-called titles, these ridiculous, useless titles, Chris Ship posting, Andrew's fall from grace has been made official and legally binding. The King, Charles, has been pleased by letters patterned under the Great Seal of the Realm dated 3rd of November. The Great Seal of the Realm, don't even ask me what that means. To declare that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor shall no longer be entitled to hold and enjoy the style, title, or attributes of Royal Highness and the titular dignity of the Prince. Oh, but you know what he's still going to enjoy? A luxury estate on Sarandom, a monthly allowance, and extra money. That's what he'll enjoy. Oh, he can't use this name anymore. He has to use that name anymore, that name now, while living in a mansion. That's the punishment for the Queen's son. That's the punishment. Truly, we live in an unfair, unjust world. Truly ridiculous. Right, I'll go to your comments before we get on to the next thing. Thank you for all your kind messages. Duchess, you said, good for you. I'm glad you're facing your trauma heads on. Don't let the trauma stop you from coming back to Thailand. Oh no, it happened in Bali, and I'm here. Nothing happened to me in Thailand. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Helen, you said Prince Harry is so personable and relatable. He is so like his blood mum. Indeed, he is. Wendy, you said Andrew will never go. He would maybe do a video chat. Oh dear. Dear oh dear. He's a coward. He's not gonna go. He's an absolute coward. And so is the institution, to be honest. And so is the British government, to be honest. If they wanted to help hold Andrew accountable, they would agree to an extradition treaty. But I think that Andrew still holds a level of diplomatic immunity. Right. William is obviously in Brazil for his earthworm. Now, I didn't know that COP30, which is the big environmental event where governments, leaders, people within the environmental space all fly in with their private jets to talk about the environment. Now, I didn't know that that was happening also in Brazil. And that could also be the reason why William decided to have Earthshot in Brazil to jump off the back of that. And guess who else is there? His main man, his boo thang, his baby, Jason Knopf. Oh yes, Jason Knopf is still very much in the picture, everyone. There he is with his slick back hair, his suit and tie, looking very pretty next to William. There is so much dirt about Jason Knopf that we're going to find out eventually. I feel like we haven't even touched the surface of his shady behavior and involvement in the downfall, or sorry, the attempted downfall and bullying of Harry and Meghan. Right. Oh, your comments. That's why the wifey had to stay at home, exactly. William and Jason don't want their boys' trip to be ruined. William wants his boothang to shine. Can't have Kate. I mean, say what you want about Kate, but when it comes to a red carpet, she genuinely pulls out her best, no? And it's usually her that makes the front covers at these things. So we can't have Kate. The one thing that she's actually able to shine at, wearing a pretty dress, We can't have that overshining William and Jason. No, no, no. Can't have that. Not on my watch, William said. Right, let's have a look at this article. So Prince William visited the Christ the Redeemer statue and did his earthshot ceremony. Yesterday was supposed to be Prince William's big day. During the day, he did a photo call at the Christ the Redeemer statue, homaging his mother's similar photo, and then in the evening, William had his earthshot prize ceremony. Guess who else was out and about yesterday? King Charles, the Duchess of Edinburgh, Prince Harry, and the Duchess of Sussex. All four got more attention from the British press in that 24-hour period. Yeah, William is just really being overshadowed. And remember, this is the same institution that will swear to you that there has to be an order and you can't have one member of the royal family doing something on the same day as the other one, and what the ones who are higher ranking are doing has to take precedent over the others. So it's also interesting that maybe not with Charles, because Charles doesn't have to work around anyone because he's the highest ranking. But it's also interesting that they sent out Sophie as well on the same day. You know, that bold demon was raging behind the scenes. Oh, I'm sure he was. Mr. Incandescent raging away. Anyway, I'm including some photos from William's activities on Sunday. Weirdly, it felt like they didn't really do a red carpet. I don't know if I've still got photos from yesterday. Let me have a look. Oh, yeah. Weirdly, it felt like they didn't really do a red carpet at the actual earthshot ceremony. I am judging all of this solely by the photos, but the ceremonies always feel so sparsely attended and half-assed. There was some kind of receiving line for Scooter King, and he did spend a brief amount of time with the environmentalist he was supposedly highlighting. But yeah, most of the photos are William and Jason, and William chatting up celebrities like Shawn Mendes and Kylie Minogue. You know who didn't show up? Giselle Bundchen. Oh, was she scheduled to show up? Or did they ask her to show up? That's quite interesting. I wonder if they had her scheduled and then maybe with all of the Andrew stuff, she still decided to go. Giselle generally don't play about her image. They got Kai Starmer to attend this stupid BS too. Although Starmer was probably in Brazil for the COP30 conference in Belém. Absolutely. I don't think he would have gone all the way to Brazil just for William. They did get into a plane together, probably going from one city to the other. And as they were coming down the steps, Kai Starmer tripped on his own lies, he did, while coming down the steps of the plane. Starmer and William will put their appearances in at COP30 and be back in England in time for the remembrance events this weekend. I'm assuming, while I absolutely enjoy the why did faux environmentalist William fly 5,000 miles to talk about climate change commentary, keep in mind that many of these people were many of these people were going to attend COP30 anyway. That's why William is desperately trying to attach his half-assed vanity project to COP30. But yes, William is very wasteful. He uses royal helicopters the way most of us use taxis and cars. Where was the lie? Where was the lie in any of that? Yeah, that's William for you. Here are some pictures. You know, the few pictures that he's actually taken with children, I've seen some other ones as well. They're the only ones that make him or give him any amount of humanity, or make him, you know, seem just not like a raging jealous person. And here he is. Of course, they're, you know, trying to make it look like he's there working, looking at his papers. Right, let's have a look at your comments and then I'll get on to the last thing. Let's have a look. Black Queen, exactly. No one wants to be William. I mean, would you want to take over a monarchy that is, you know, really in trouble? Truly in trouble? I don't think I would. You know, He's coming into his kingship truly at the worst time. Worst time in history, because the glamour of royalty has truly faded. You know, there was a time when royals would actually walk around with their jewels on. Like, imagine doing that now. Like, you just wouldn't. Even if you look at as early as, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, you know, when the Queen Mother was still around, she would walk around with her diamonds, with her crooked teeth and diamonds. Times have changed so much, and for so many reasons, whether it's social media, the political landscape, the social landscape. Mind you, the reason King Charles II, I believe, got beheaded was because of food riots and also issues with the economy at the time. And now here we have Charles III, King, with a similar thing happening. We have a cost of living crisis. So history doesn't always repeat itself, but often rhymes. And right now it's rhyming. I don't think you're going to see mass protest people, you know, charging down to Buckingham Palace. We're a little bit more civilized now. But I think people are definitely allowing their distaste to be heard. And that distaste is a lot louder than what it has been in the past, even in just the last few weeks. The way the narrative and the way people are looking at the royals has changed. And I think this is why there was such a push and a desperation now to get Andrew out. It's not because they want accountability. It's because William especially doesn't want to deal with the Andrew problem. It's not the let's bring justice for victims focus. They refer to it as the Andrew problem, which I think is very insulting to the victims. Sorry, I'm trying to get through your comments before we get on to the last thing. You said the US, Russia, China, and India's biggest polluters in the world did not attend the climate event, COP30 in Brazil. So it's a dud without these countries. Yeah. I also do think there's a huge commercial interest with some of these conferences, because you have a lot of so-called environment-focused corporations, startups that also want to benefit from fixing the problems that we have with the environment. Sonia Johnson, what is the purpose of Earthflop? I can't tell what they do or impact if they have any. It's more like a paid celebrity get-together. So from my understanding, you have individuals who work within the environmental space who are given cash prizes to extend their work. Now, the problem is that the way the Earthshot is run, there isn't enough done to push the winners, so we actually know who they are, so they actually get the credit that they deserve. In fact, one year they flew out the celebrities and they didn't fly out the winners of the prizes. So they didn't really get the shine and the exposure that they needed. The other problem is, you know, it's William that's meant to bring the eyes and the attention as the head of Earthshot, and that attention is then meant to turn to the individuals involved. Now, if you compare, for example, Meghan just did a piece in, I think it was Town and Country, with this young lady that's been working with the relief of the LA fires. So you can see that's an example of Meghan using her presence to highlight someone else and their cause, to further their cause, and we pay attention and we as fans amplify it. Now the problem with, you know, the William and Kate's fans, whoever they are, the derangers, is they don't do that. They don't amplify the work of their so-called faves, or the people who their faves say that they're trying to amplify. So I couldn't tell you a single winner. And I'm a royal commentator that focuses on Harry and Meghan's work. So I'm not going to give free promotion to whoever it is that William and Kate is meant to be helping. I'm sure they're doing absolutely fantastic things, by the way. I'm sure all of the shot winners are, doing innovative, wonderful things to help, but it's the responsibility of their faves to push whatever it is that they're doing and to find the ways and means of doing that and to create interest around that. But that is ultimately what Earthshot is meant to do. It's meant to bring awareness to the work that these environmentalists who win the prizes are doing. The other problem is that the lack of consistency and follow-up. So every year you get this new cohort, you don't know who they are, and then we don't follow up with them in the following years. Whereas Harry and Meghan, for example, I saw a Twitter post, and it was one of the mothers from, you remember when they had the shooting in Texas? Meghan had apparently, called the mothers, sending them Mother's Day flowers, following up with everyone who you connect with. That's really important. Elaine, you said you were born on the 11th minute of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Really? Oh my God. I am so interested in astrology and all of that stuff. I would love to see your birth chart. I want to see your birth chart. I'm so into that stuff. Give me a sec, folks. I'm just going to plug in my laptop because I didn't realize that it wasn't plugged in and I don't want it to go off. One moment. And we're back. Benjamin, you said, remember in the docuseries with H&M, we saw Harry furiously typing. That's when I knew he was far ahead in intelligence than what has been portrayed thus far. Yeah, there was actually the people over at New Statesman seem to be really going at William. And there was a segment where one of the guys was actually picked up on this. And they were talking about Harry's spare, and one of the guys was saying, and this isn't someone that's like a major Harry and Meghan supporter, just somebody that happened to read, Harry's book because he works in media. And he was like, he sensed that through Harry's book, that Harry did have a high level of intelligence. And then the other guy was saying, yeah, it seems like they've really downplayed Harry and pumped up William. Ron, does anyone know if he got the press coverage he was aiming for? I feel like he actually got more press coverage because Harry was doing something this week, and then all of the press coverage was, oh, Harry's doing something. This isn't a coincidence. Harry's trying to take attention away from William. But the irony is that William actually got more attention because all the articles were all these ridiculous stories about, oh, Harry's trying to take the attention away from William. And that's probably how a lot of people found out that William was in Brazil this week, having a nice old holiday while it's winter in the UK. Elaine, at school, you thought the 2-minute silence was for you. I don't blame you. Oh, it's hilarious. Benjamin, nobody did look at me, I'm a rich bee, like Margaret or her mother. We remember Margaret a bit more, but the Queen mother, she was something else. Oh, yeah. Something else indeed. When I look back at like old videos and stuff, it's like looking at a time capsule. Do you know what? It's so funny because I remember back to my childhood, and whenever I would hear, the Queen mother being mentioned, it was like you really got the sense that you really got the sense that this woman was your grandma. Like this lady was, like the national grandma. But then you actually learn about the Queen mother, she was a mess. She was an absolute mess. Okay, have I got, okay, just going through your comments before I get on to the last story. Staryu says, the problem is with Earthshot is that Bully is a massive hypocrite regarding the environment. Look at comments on the media pages. Everyone, and I mean non-Harry Meghan fans, sees it. I mean, do you remember the stunt they pulled, the Flyby stunt they pulled with Simon Case? They wanted to make it look like William and Kate are, environmentally friendly. They flew empty commercial jets to go and pick them up. How ridiculous. Like, you really don't have to try that hard. All right, last story that I wanted to focus on was this from Feminagra. I'm gonna read this out. Vanity Fair protects Beatrice and Eugenie while smearing Meghan Sussex. This is one of the reasons why I say that Harry, stay away from your cousins, because you've got media organizations. And by the way, one of the reasons why Vanity Fair is doing this is because I think that one of the lead editors is actually close with Beatrice and Eugenie. So they're happy to protect them, but throw Meghan under the bus. And then there was this whole American Hustle article that they did. So Vanity Fair once prided itself on fearless reporting, yet this recent editorial behavior tells a different story. After publishing a scathing, gossip-driven profile of Meghan Sussex and Prince Harry earlier this year, the magazine has now been accused of shielding Andrew's daughters from scrutiny. According to Semaphore editor-in-chief Mark Guiducci, he allegedly instructed staff go easy on Beatrice and Eugenie because of his personal friendship with them. No editorial integrity at all. I mean, nobody's saying that you should, bash Beatrice and Eugenie if there's nothing to bash them for, but to protect them when you would bash Harry and Meghan for doing nothing but existing, it says a lot about you. This double standard is striking. When it came to Meghan Sussex, the knives were out. When it came to the daughters of a disgraced royal accused of sexual assault and forced to settle out of court, the velvet gloves returned, indeed. Vanity Fair's fall from prestige to partiality. The magazine's January profile, titled American Hustle, was presented as a serious look at Meghan and Harry's post-royal life. Instead, it relied on anonymous sources and well-worn tropes. Indeed, when I actually saw this at first, I thought that this was a positive article. Now, people alerted me to the fact that, American Hustle is actually an insulting phrase and kind of like a play on words because of the American Hustle film, and which I haven't seen. So I didn't know that this was actually insulting. And if you look at the cover itself and you don't know what American Hustle means, it actually looks like it's going to be a very positive, glamorous article. So it actually fooled a lot of people initially, only for us to then read the article and realize it was a whole bunch of BS. It echoed the language of tabloids in the UK that have long targeted the Duchess, questioning her motives, amplifying old palace smears and portraying ambition as manipulation. Even the New York Post and Daily Fail turned the piece into a tabloid feeding frenzy, quoting it to legitimize false claims about divorce, books, and bullying. Oh yeah, the Harry and Meghan divorce rumors have been going on for years and never materialized. At a certain point, if you're a troll, do you not just feel stupid? Are you not embarrassed yet? I mean, you've been embarrassed enough over the last few years. Harry himself said, "I feel sorry for you." But they continue. This wasn't investigative reporting. It was image demolition dressed as journalism. The profile ignored verified facts about the Sussexes' record of philanthropy, mental health advocacy, and global partnership. Vanity Fair's willingness to echo palace talking points proved how easily proximity to power corrodes editorial independence. Indeed, the fact that this person, the editor, is friends with Beatrice and Eugenie. Months later, the magazine is now embroiled in a different kind of credibility crisis. When the subject shifted from Meghan to Beatrice and Eugenie, his editors suddenly discovered restraint. The Beatrice and Eugenie exception. The lead editor reported instruction to temper criticism of Andrew's daughters This reveals how privilege is preserved inside media institutions that claim to challenge it. And then, then they wonder why people aren't paying attention to mainstream media anymore and they're going to alternative media. According to Semaphore, Guiducci personally questioned whether it was necessary to mention Beatrice and Eugenie in a piece about their father's ties with Jeffrey Epstein. The references were softened before publication. The reasoning was personal friendship, an extraordinary admission for a publication who once called itself fearless. 5 months into his tenure, and as Vanity Fair's coverage of one of the great royal scandals of a generation reached its apex, editor Mark Guiducci had a message for his staff: leave Prince Andrew's children out of it. I mean, they're not like children, they're grown adult women. Granted, I don't necessarily think they should take the heat for what their father has done, but if they've benefited in any way from their father's ties with Epstein, I think that should be a conversation. I'm not saying that they need to carry any blame for their father's actions, but I think they should be held to account if they have gained any way from their father's affiliations. Let me just make that clear. The scandal in question was Prince Andrew's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, which last week cost him his titles. In September, Vanity Fair wrote a story detailing new revelations around his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson's correspondence with the disgraced financier. The draft of the story also mentions Andrew's adult daughters, who happen to be friends with Guiducci. He wanted to know if it was relevant to include the women in a piece about their father. This same magazine that dissected Meghan's character from every angle, speculating on her temperament, ambition, and marriage. Yet when it came to two women tied by blood to a man stripped of royal titles for his relationship with a convicted ex-offender, discretion suddenly becomes policy. The contrast exposes what truly drives editorial decisions. Who editors know, not what readers deserve to know. Indeed, Vanity Fair's current direction under Guiducci fits a pattern. Like other Condé Nast titles that increasingly trades accountability for access, coverage is curated for comfort, not clarity. Those inside elite networks are handled with care. Those who challenge those networks are written as cautionary tales. A case study in media hypocrisy. Vanity Fair's protection of Beatrice and Eugenie is not an isolated decision. It reflects a deeper editorial culture that shields the privileged while targeting those who disrupt hierarchy. Meghan Sussex's mere presence unsettled that order. Her mixed heritage and independence collided with centuries of royal convention. The media's response was not curiosity, but violent hostility disguised as cultural commentary. Indeed. So well written by Feminagra. Now, as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor loses public use of his remaining titles and faces disgrace over his ties with Epstein, the same magazine has reportedly instructed writers to leave his daughters out of it. By the way, it was actually confirmed that Beatrice's 18th birthday party that was held at the back of Royal Lodge. So yeah, I don't have the pictures with me at the moment, but you've probably seen them. It was a costume party. They were all kind of in ball gowns, kind of like old medieval kind of mixed with flapper era kind of looking outfits. And Weinstein, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell were all there. What a fine bunch for your daughter's 18th birthday party. Absolutely disgusting. Yet public scrutiny of Beatrice and Eugenie is not without substance. They have faced legitimate questions about proximity and silence. Reports have resurfaced that Epstein and Ghislaine attended Beatrice's 18th birthday party in 2006, and leaked emails suggest that the sisters visited Epstein's New York home after his 2009 prison release. Okay, so this is actually news to me, by the way. I didn't actually know this. Why would they need to visit his home after his prison release? Oh, they know something. Critics question their judgment and their ongoing privileges. I wouldn't be surprised if they were getting money from Epstein too, or being funneled money from Epstein from their mum and dad. Critics question their judgment and their ongoing privileges, titles, housing, and security despite Andrew's disgrace. Eugenie's anti-slavery charity, meanwhile, has been scrutinized for limited transparency, raising accusations of moral inconsistency. Some see it as a PR designed to buffer her image amongst her father's ongoing controversies, indeed. And I think it's just I think it's to use a charity like that as a buffer is truly disgraceful. Vanity Fair's decision to soften coverage underlines how access journalism has replaced accountability. When editors protect those within their social orbit while vilifying others, they reveal more about their allegiances than their ethics. Journalism, once a fearless profession to hold the powerful accountable, now performs deference, and the York's immunity from critique proves it. Final thoughts. Vanity Fair's treatment of Meghan Sussex compared with its handling of Andrew's daughters exposes a troubling hierarchy in media ethics. The same outlet that once ran a hostile, anonymously sourced piece attacking Princess Meghan now takes a gentler approach towards Beatrice and Eugenie. The contrast speaks volumes about who the press considers worthy of protection. The pattern is impossible to ignore. Scrutiny is harsher for women of colour who disrupt royal norms, while empathy flows easily towards the other royals. What looks like editorial discretion is in truth the quiet maintenance of privilege and power. A magazine once known for holding power to account now appears complicit in preserving it. Article ends, and where was the lie in any of that? Where was the lie? Oh dear, oh dear. What a crazy web we weave. All right, let's get to your comments. Thank you to Kevon Slims. That picture on the Vanity Fair cover is why they hate Harry and Meghan. They look so darn good indeed. I mean, imagine writing an article trashing someone, but this is how that someone looks. Imagine trashing me when I'm so fine. Just imagine. You with your yellow buck tooth trashing me when I look this fine. And then writing a whole article. The audacity. Audacity on steroids. Hi, girl Lewis. Here late. You're never late. Just catch the replay. Benjamin, and do you remember when Diana's mother marching into some building after Diana died and called the Queen Mother a B? Said it just like that. I didn't know about that, but I'm going to look it up now. Thank you for that history lesson. Vanity Fair used to be a good magazine. I guess Murdoch bought that one too. Does Murdoch own Vanity Fair? I thought he owned the New York Post. I think Vanity Fair is Condé Nast. But they have the same mindset. So, but I don't think Murdoch owns Vanity Fair. Not that I'm aware of. Wendy, you said Beatrice and Eugenie's hands are dirty too with Epstein's money. Just hasn't been exposed. Why Congress only want Andrew and not Americans who were in this fast too? Indeed. Great questions. Great questions. Those are all the questions that we need to ask. Unbothered, you said Vanity Fair has become a rumor monger magazine. Indeed. I mean, I remember the image of Vanity Fair, you know, the whole Vanity Fair party, Oscars. Like, it was the magazine to be in, especially if you were a Hollywood actor. Andrew, I'm on Everybody podcast. Is somebody else on? Is Baron on? You on Everybody podcast? Who else is on at the moment? Like, I'm so all over the place because the time zones are different. So I don't know who's on when. Just going through your comments, folks, and then we are wrapping it up. All right, I think, oh no, a couple more. Let me just scroll down. Pamela, you said, interesting enough, it was allegedly the Queen's mother's closest aristo friends that helped Charles and Camilla sheltered cover for their playdates by offering them use of their houses. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these aristo women were hella jealous of Diana. I mean, Diana was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Wouldn't surprise me. Cho, the CC, the usual mouthpieces, Camilla Tominey and Angela Levine are tight-lipped over the nonsense epic mess. Indeed, they're so tight-lipped over Andrew, but they're constantly tweeting about our faves. I mean, Angela Latrine, she hasn't stopped. I actually have a theory about Angela Latrine. I think that for her, I mean, she's barely even getting paid nowadays. Apparently, GB News still hadn't paid her the £300 or whatever it is they owed her. I think for her, in particular, it has become an obsession. Like, she's not just an artist POS who wants to make money from spewing hate about Harry and Meghan. I think that's only like 20% of it for her. I think the other 80% is I genuinely believe that Angela Latrine is a deranged, dangerous person who would do real harm if she got into contact with Harry and Meghan. I think she is obsessed with Harry. I think she has some kind of mental health issues going on. I think she's now genuinely obsessed. She's not just a rat rogue reporter. I believe she's dangerous. Whereas the likes of Camilla Tominey, she's just a rat rogue reporter. And I mean, I think at one point Angela Latrine said, she met Harry and she knows Harry. I think she got 15 minutes with Harry at one point. I don't even know if that's true. And then wrote a whole darn book. Gee whiz, you said, I bet you Charles knew this was coming and he had to move on Andrew to save the monarchy. Andrew put royal family members in a position to, yeah. I mean, if they could, they would have tried to stop that Virginia Guthrie book from coming out. They at least put a stop to it, only for her to die and the book come out. So her words are with us, but Virginia isn't. Otherwise, she would likely be doing media interviews too. I'm seeing that some of you are reading the book. I personally can't read it. I'm sure it's a very well-written, thorough book. I'm glad it's in the public domain, so Virginia's Truth is out there. But I just, from the little pieces that I've read, especially being someone that's experienced essay, I think it would just be too triggering. But feel free to offer your thoughts in the comment section. Andrea, you should have heard her talk about Meghan today. Really? Is she back on GB News? Is she on Talk TV? Oh, I mean, these people are absolutely a nasty bunch. I don't laugh because it's like funny. I laugh because it's just pathetic. All right, that is, I'm going to end the podcast there. Thank you as always, folks. You are great. Very excited to see Meghan in the, whatever it is they're shooting. I'm sure we're going to get a bit more from Harry in the coming days with Remembrance Weekend and Remembrance Day coming up, and he will also be in back in Canada on December 1st. He's got another event going on. I will see what comes up in the next 24 hours. Hopefully we'll also, maybe after Harry's finished his weekend and all the stuff that he's doing with Canada, maybe we'll finally get the With Love Meghan Christmas trailer, because Meghan said it would be coming in November, so likely to maybe towards the end of November, right as the Christmas period starts, especially the period for retail. And that's a great timing to have that series come out. All right, later, folks.